What's up? I'm gonna do another quick video about Ethereum and my portfolio. So I basically closed out of all my positions. I broke even on this. I broke even on this just because I had like a sell limit or whatever. I probably could have made. I could have made at least like 10, maybe 15% on this if I hold for another few days, but it's not that serious. I am holding United Healthcare just because of insider buying. And I really do like the chart formation of that, and I like the healthcare sector. I think is gonna pop up because, I mean, basically my whole idea, right, is Bitcoin, Ethereum drop, and they are dropping right now, kind of like how I predicted, not exactly how I expected it to plan out, but they are dropping, which the macro I was for a drop, so that part was right. And I think the SPY is going to follow that. So the US equities are going to follow that, and then there's going to be a rotation into healthcare, which is a defensive, right? And people are going to get scared of risk temporarily, and I think healthcare is going to have a run up because of that. Now, I don't think the drop will be too bad. Like, I think the SPY might drop 5 to 7%. Like, let me show you. Like, bro, trading view is doing too much, bro. Alright, so, fuck, how do I, alright. Like this level right here, like this level, like 635. So going from 667 to 635 is probably like a 5% drop. Maybe we hit this. I don't really know. I don't think it's really that important how much the SPY drops as long as it's not over 10%. I really do think a 5 to 7% pullback is normal, considering like we really haven't touched this at all. And usually, like, look, we touch it here, we touch it here, we touch it here. Then we go for a we really don't want the prolonged periods, because then we started touching it a lot and then we had this sell off, right? You see what I'm saying? Again, like we touch it here, we're good. We touch it here, we're good. Maybe touch it here, we're good, right? And then when we touch it a lot, I feel like we kind of go for a longer correction. So like we haven't touched it for a long time, which I do think is kind of bad. So I think we might touch it and then have another like distribution phase maybe. But that's kind of too far out in the future. I'm trying to like more short-term thinking, right? We go, like, I do think 5 to 7% correction is not completely terrible, right? September is historically a bad month. September is almost bad. September is almost over, but I did see a statistics where if you have a good June, July, and August, September actually isn't a bad month. It's October. So I do think October might be bad. And then October is bad for the SPY, but September has been bad for kind of like crypto already, right? And I do think crypto kind of leads. So crypto's had been pretty beat down recently, and maybe there's another scare before our run up in like late October. But yeah, I'm not sure if I explained it too well, but like 5 to 7% pullback on the SPY. And then that causes rotation into healthcare. Then when the distribution happens on the SPY, healthcare has like a more prolonged run up, kind of. So then is the dropping over for Ethereum? Kind of my base case, which my base case was wrong because I had like a few possible outcomes and I ranked them. So my first outcome I thought was we were going to sweep like 5100, then go down, but we went down already. So this was kind of my second outcome, and that's why I sold at 40. Like if you look at here, I sold a lot of my position at 44.80, and I did that like right around here, I think. And I did that just because like this is kind of like a diamond top that I was talking about, and I didn't want to risk 5100 for the drop that we're having now, kind of. And I'm glad I didn't risk it, because if I did risk it, I would have been down pretty bad, honestly. Now, my base case for Ethereum is I do think it's going to get in this bull market support band. I don't know if it's going to touch the top one or the bottom one. I'm personally just going to buy in at the top one. Because I do think Bitcoin can... I think the two major supports for Bitcoin are like 108 and then 98. And 98 is because the 50-week SMA is there, I think, and that's been historically pretty good bouncing areas. Like it bounced from the 50-week SMA here, and it's bounced it from here also. So I'm kind of hoping that it just stays here, and then alts just bleed against Bitcoin. Like Bitcoin could have another run up to 111, then it could drop again to 108, and then that other drop could kill Ethereum and put it at 3600. And I am targeting 3600 also because Ethereum and Bitcoin looks pretty weak. My base case is like this kind of goes back to the bull market support band, then runs up. Because if you really look at Ethereum Bitcoin right now, like it doesn't, like this is a lower low, right? Like this is a lower low. So maybe we have another like higher, like a lower high, then another lower low. Then we like do our basing and then like go up from there. But yeah, this is a lower low. That's definitely not a good sign. And if you really look at this downtrend, like you selling a small run up, then heavier selling, then you could call this another run up, then we might have heavier. See what I'm saying? Like the selling is getting worse and worse. So I do think that this is not the bottom, though it's not going to be a straight line down, right? So maybe Saturday, Sunday are good for Ethereum, Bitcoin, or maybe that's Monday, Tuesday. But I do ultimately think we go here or here. If we go here, then we're probably going 3,300 on Ethereum. But the thing is, like, I'm not trying to optimize it too much, right? Because if I tried to optimize it too much, then I would have missed out on this. I would have had to experience this drop because we didn't actually go to 5,100 like I expected, right? So I'm not trying to optimize. I'm not going to be like, oh, I'll buy in at 33.88 or something like that. Like, because there's a real chance that it does not hit 33.88 and it just bounces off of 3,600, right? So by buying at 3,600, I feel like I'm positioning myself in the best of both worlds, right? Because there's the chance that it bounces from 3,600, it then goes straight up to all-time highs, or it goes from 3,600 to 3,300 and then bounces to all-time highs. But I do want to get in the ride to all-time highs, so I'm not trying to optimize it too much. And there are two possibilities that I didn't consider, right? This is the bottom right here. You can make the argument that this is the bottom and we're going to go to all-time highs here. Like you could be like, oh, this is this, and then we're gonna have a run up. This and then this are similar. This and this are similar, and we're gonna have another run up. And maybe they are, but I do think it's gonna go to the bull market support band. That's kind of my base case. And this just doesn't look like it's completely bottomed yet. Like I don't see where it would find. I mean, you can say this is demand right here, but I'm not too confident in that personally. I mean, you can always make the case, and this could be the bottom, but I don't think it's the most probable outcome, right? I think there are other probable outcomes that are more likely to happen, right? Which is 3,600 or 3,300. I think those are, and then a run up to all-time highs. I think that's the most probable outcome. And then the last outcome I didn't consider is that we go to 3,300, we drop to we go to 3,600, we drop to 3,300, then we keep on dropping, right? Maybe the bull run is over, right? And we just keep going lower and lower. That is a possibility, but I do think because of the narratives in place for Ethereum, right? We still have two major narratives for Ethereum, right? So like earlier in the year, I was predicting stable coins and people doing like Bitcoin treasuries for Ethereum. That's played out, but there have been two other major narratives that haven't played out yet, which is staking ETFs. I do think like just for regular ETFs, we had like this run up. Like we almost went to all-time highs and like way too early for Ethereum, right? Like we did all of this because of staking ETFs and some upgrade for Ethereum, right? But these are the exact things that will happen in November, right? Because there's an upgrade scheduled in November for Ethereum, and this was what the run up for one of the last upgrades was. So I do think there could be another like 2x because of the upgrade for Ethereum, and then staking ETFs, which I think was this. This was regular ETFs, but I do think staking ETFs are another narrative. So we have Ethereum upgrade and staking ETFs, and those narratives have not played out yet. And I do think that they will play out, right? So it's like, if you were to look at the probabilities, I think the probabilities are most likely targeting 3,600 or 3,300, and then going up to all-time highs then, because maybe the Ethereum treasury narrative gets even stronger, some other people join in, or blah blah blah, right? And then staking ETFs happen or are alleged to happen right around the corner, right? And then the Ethereum upgrade. The Ethereum upgrade will improve Ethereum, dramatically, and then a lot of people will speculate on this upgrade happening, and that will definitely be a buy, sell the event, buy the rumor, stuff like that. So I do think Ethereum is really well positioned for a run up to all-time highs, but I do think that it will drop a bit more. And I'm really hoping that this RSI goes down into oversold territory, because I was looking, like, if you bought Ethereum here, this would have been good, right? This would have been a good buy. If you bought it here, it would have been a good temporary buy. If you bought it here, this would have been a great buy, right? If you bought it here, this would have been a really good buy. And if you bought it here, this would have been a good buy. Here would have been a bad buy. Here would have been a good buy, right? Because I think at like 2x almost from there. But like, you see what I'm saying? Like, historically, when the RSI actually gets below 30, it's typically a good buying opportunity. And since the macro is very well positioned for Ethereum, I do think that that the probabilities are heavily in our favor, and the technicals might be in our favor too, right? Like if this RSI gets below 30, we checked the last times that it's been below 30, most of those are good buying opportunities. Plus we have the good macro environment for us. Plus we have Ethereum narratives. You see what I mean? Plus this is a good pullback before a run up to all-time highs, because look at all of this run up. You see what I'm saying? So like going to 3,600, 3,300 seems completely reasonable, and that's why I plan on buying back at 3,600, because I don't want to risk it just shooting back up at 3,600. I don't want to risk 3,300, stuff like that. So yeah, I kind of talk a little bit fast, but that's kind of my game plan for Ethereum. And I did sell all of my positions to have enough capital to buy Ethereum, because I'm gonna put $250 or $300 in it. Yeah, so yeah, that's basically that. Thanks for watching, and that's that.